Yo, what is up everybody, and welcome back to another Madden 20 online CFM game. We are now in week 16 of the 2023 season here in the Premier Madden League. It's the second to last regular season game, and it could be the last meaningful regular season game our Miami Dolphins play if we beat the Buffalo Bills, because the task at hand is simple today. We beat the 3-11 Buffalo Bills, and our Dolphins clinched the #1 seed in the AFC Conference. That means we could potentially rest a lot of our starters in the Week 17 matchup for the Washington Redskins and make sure we are healthy for a potential playoff push, because as you guys know, injuries have been pretty key for our Dolphins all season long. What's also on the line today is DeAndre Hopkins trying to break the single season record for touchdown receptions in an NFL campaign. Right now, DeAndre Hopkins and Randy Moss shared a record. As you guys saw, DeAndre Hopkins took home, I believe, his third AFC Offensive Player of the Week award for this 2023 season, and if we could get at least one more touchdown with DeAndre Hopkins today, he will break the all-time record, have its sole possession for himself. Now, we are playing the Bills CPU today. The Bills user, with his season pretty much done, didn't really even try to schedule this game with us, so we're playing the Bills CPU. This does not mean we have a guaranteed victory. Remember, the last time we played the CPU in this franchise, it was the New York Jets, and we actually lost that game. So we can't just dilly-dally through this one. We got to focus and make sure we clinch this #1 seed. So here we go. We are underway in snowy Buffalo between the 3-11 Buffalo Bills and the 12-2 Miami Dolphins. The Bills start off with the ball first, and Josh Allen looking to pass early in the snow, trying to go downfield. A potential recipe for disaster. That ball is swatted away. Tariq Cohen, we would expect we get a lot of touches along with Philip Lindsay with the way this game should be played out in the snow. 3rd down and 6 is actually going to become 3rd down and 11 because of a pretty quick false start. I believe they called on Tariq Cohen, the running back. You don't see the running back get a false start too often. So here we go, 3rd down and long. Not the situation you want to be in these conditions against this top Miami defense. That's kind of hard to see with the white jerseys in the white snow. And we force the 3 and now as Jahan Dotson on the punt return trying to bounce it outside. So against the CPU, obviously you play a little bit different. We're going to try to play smart in this one, not turn the ball over, just, let the game come to us, and hopefully we can slowly but surely put up points and put the CPU away as Kalen Bullock gets the carry. New set of downs. Deshaun Watson outside for Chris Godwin, who gets cracked. And this is exactly what we did not want, because look at Grant Delpit. He'll go all the way for the Buffalo touchdown, and right away the all Madden CPU leaves their mark on the game. This is a big reason why we lost to the Jets last time we played the CPU, because the all Madden CPU, I don't know how to put it any more frankly, those dudes cheat. Alright, so of course, the first time we run to an enforcer safety, it's a fumble, recovered for 6, and now we're down by 7, and now the slowly but surely pull away strategy kind of gets pulled out the rug from us, and we got to fight for every first down. And now as we try to pass the ball a little bit more, Ed Oliver's getting a sack. Saquon Barkley on the carry. We're going to try to limit Saquon's touches today and try to mix up the running back rotation once again. 3rd down and 10. Watson against the 3-man rush. He has space, and Deshaun Watson gets away from Ngakoue and gets the first down with his legs as Barkley gets the carry. Barkley a little bit busy in this one. As you see Saquon once again, as the CPU puts a lot of 3-man fronts on us. We got to run the ball, but it's just not really working out. So 3rd down against the 3-man front. We got to try to pass. We got to get away from Ed Oliver and try to get this first down. That is close, and I would say a pretty generous spot there. They do indeed give us the first down as the rushing attack. I'm just trying to keep the CPU honest with that rushing attack, though. Right now, we're getting a lot of success running the ball with the quarterback, Deshaun Watson. 3 rushes for 38 yards on this drive, and now throwing the touchdown to Chris Godwin on the corner route. The same corner route that Godwin got and then fumbled. We go right back to it, and it works once again. So thankful we tied the game up, and it's really all about playing CPU on this, or playing defense against the CPU, and just making sure we don't give up any fluky plays. Just play really conservative on the defensive end, and lock up the running game. Just make sure we don't give up any deep shots, because when we actually played the Bills earlier this season, Marquise Goodwin had himself quite the game. So we're gonna try to limit Goodwin along with Sammy Watkins. Third down. This is the situation we want as we send the blitz, forcing the quick throw, the quick gang tackle by the two safeties, Colbert and Stern, and a 3-and-out once again forced by this Miami defense. All to a great start. It's just that we had a bit of an unfortunate break with that fumble, as Dotson looking to return this one, spinning, reversing fields, and getting to about the 19-yard line. Dotson continuing to make the opponents really feel his presence on these punt returns as we get a sweep in there with Jakeem Grant. That doesn't work out too well. Godwin underneath. He's lost it again. Godwin versus Delpit round 2, and Delpit rocks him once again, and the Bills get the fumble recovery once more as second down. Cohen breaking the tackle. Cohen in, and the Buffalo Bills regain the lead once again on a forced fumble recovery. Remember last time we played the CPU, Saquon Barkley fumbled twice. So the old Madden CPU really does not give a damn about your feelings. They will force fumbles whenever they feel like it. So it's just, this uphill battle we got to deal with, as this kick returns looking pretty nice. Look at Dotson running down the sidelines, trying to speed all the way. Dotson down at the 12, just what we needed when the CPU is starting to demoralize us a bit. Dotson puts us in a pretty great position here to score, hopefully a touchdown, but this is a big 3rd down and 2, and we do not want to turn the ball over in this situation, as Watson once again getting away from the rush and getting in the end zone. Deshaun Watson has been a difference maker so far today. That CPU pass rush getting home, and unlike the last couple of times we played the CPU, we have Deshaun Watson who can get away from especially the likes of Ed Oliver and not only, avoid the sack, but turn it into a 1st down and a touchdown. So once again, game tied, and Stearns is there for the interception. Caden Stearns, I believe that's interception number 9 on the season for number 27 as we go play action. Watson once again moving, grooving, and throwing a dime. Chris Godwin finds the end zone for the 2nd time. No DeAndre Hopkins so far, so the record still stays 23-23 between Randy Moss and DeAndre Hopkins, but especially since we are playing against the CPU, I'm going to try to find D-Hop, especially when we get in the red zone at some point, but for right now, we just got to focus on getting the lead, right, and just winning this game before we go for style points, as we have to just continue to play the defense we've been playing so far, because it's been absolutely locked down, as Cohen doing his thing until Caden Stearns. Oh, wow. Yeah, that nearly looked like a dream play. It ended up being a nightmare as we go outside for Hopkins. Really the first real look we've given to DeAndre so far, and it nearly ended up being an interception after the drop. There's Corey Grant on the handoff. We're staying true to our word, mixing up that running back rotation, though. We're going to get Saquon a little bit of touches. Hopefully, if we can get a lead, we can rest Saquon in the second half of this game. And D-Hop, trying to burst through the seams. He wants the record, but he doesn't even get the catch. 3rd down and 5. Watson middle. Hopkins. Oh, wow. DeAndre Hopkins once again drops the ball. That looked like a much easier catch, but unfortunately, Hopkins trying to twist his body just to make the reception is not able to make the catch in traffic, and we have to settle for the Joey Slye field goal, which is up and good to make it a 2-possession game. We're only midway in the 2nd quarter. A lot has happened, and there's still more than half of this game to be played, as that is a great pass breakup by Bryce Hall. You see, Josh Allen has done virtually nothing so far. So to have Josh Allen at one more 3rd down and long, exactly what we want as we send the blitz, and Allen off the mark. He had the tight end Dawson Knox wide open for the 1st down, but all that pressure, all those missed throws already from Josh Allen affecting his confidence clearly as he just misses the mark, and then you have to factor in the snow as well, which is also factoring into our game plan, so we're not going to take too many big chances, but when DeAndre Hopkins is this wide open, we got to get him the ball. Hopkins all the way to the 29-yard line as Saquon bouncing the run outside. Saquon down after a decent gain of 5, 2nd down outside. Hopkins again. Hopkins really wants to get in the end end zone. DeAndre Hopkins really wants this record, but once again, we have to make sure we win the game. We can't force this situation. Though when DeAndre Hopkins is that open, he'll get the ball and he'll get the record. 24 touchdowns in the 2023 season. That is a new NFL record for Nuke. What a season DeAndre has had, and it's only fitting we grab the record, and now we also grab a 17-point lead. That's more important right now as we try to win this game and secure home field advantage for the AFC playoff route, as that's going to be a nice trail route by the tight end Knox. But the Bills at this point, they need touchdowns. You know, the CPU can only cheese you so bad when we're putting together a performance like this. Defense has been shut down all game long. And sometimes, you know, that CPU offense, they'll move the ball on us. But these Buffalo Bills, you know, I don't know if it's the game plan or what, but it's just not working out for them. As Corey Grant actually using his speed to get away from what looked like would be a tackle for loss. As look at DeAndre Hopkins torching his man outside, and Hopkins is in again. He burns Tre'Davious White, and he finds the end zone for touchdown number 25 on the season. And that is going to be the end of DeAndre Hopkins' day. We are going to be resting DeAndre Hopkins, and you know, this is probably going to be the end of DeAndre Hopkins' regular season, because to be honest with you guys, I don't see us playing DeAndre Hopkins in that Week 17 game against the Washington Redskins. There's literally going to be nothing on the line. Also, Saquon Barkley's day is done. Saquon is officially going to be on the bench, and Saquon Barkley's regular season is definitely done. There's no way we're playing Saquon in a meaningless Week 17 game. As, oh wow, X jumps the little route, and he's gonna take this one for 6. Xavier Howard dancing in for, I believe, his second defensive touchdown of the season. I would say when it rains, it pours, but when it snows, it pours for the Buffalo Bills today, because now it is 45-14, and we have officially grabbed control of this game. So, I mean, yeah, it was not a good start at all, but If you told me we were going to have a 45-14 lead at the end of the first half, I would take it. But the journey to get here has been anything but easy. Nonetheless, we put ourselves in fantastic position to try to secure this number one seed, get the bye and all that good stuff, and really just chill out for the last game and a half of this regular season in what will be the final regular season for our Miami Dolphins in the CFM. As Goodwin actually makes the catch right there. Shout out. I mean, the old man and CPU, they still got a couple of tricks up their sleeve, but we got a trick or two ourselves. Allen doesn't get it. Cox does. Allen makes the tackle to prevent the touchdown and us getting 50 in the first half. But yeah, that kind of feels like the dagger, even though we're in the first half. We're going to run the ball a couple of times here with Corey Grant. Why not? Like I said, Saquon's not going to be back, so we're going to get Grant, Drake, and Balaj for the final game and a half. And, you know, probably at the third quarter, we're going to rest Deshaun Watson, rest Chris Godwin, and I would say those two at least are probably done for the regular season as well. You know, we might give Deshaun Watson one drive in this third quarter since he's on fire to see what he could do. Maybe let Chris Godwin pad his stats one more time against the CPU, hope he doesn't get injured, and then sit him out. So we do get ball to start the second half. We're going to keep the starters in at least one more drive, and then, you know, maybe sit some of these guys, though. We're not going to do anything crazy, right? We have the lead. We're not really allowed to run up the score against the CPU in this CFM, so we're not going to do that. I don't want to play the CPU, so I'm going to chew clock as much as I possibly can as Godwin chews the ankles of Tre'Davious White, who's been burnt time and time again by our top two receivers, as Taysom Hill trying to do something fancy. I believe it's Fowler with the great contain and the tackle for loss forced as we go to Godwin outside. That time Trey White making the good play. He gets his own tackle for loss, and on third down we're just going to sweep it to Jakeem Grant, who might have had a touchdown if he broke that man's ankles, but will settle for the Joey Sly field goal. Whoa! Just up and good. That was kind of sketchy, and that is officially going to be the end of the Deshaun Watson and Chris Godwin regular season. So it's going to be some backups. We're going to leave Jakeem Grant in the game, and we're just going to let these guys sit. So, you know, we're going to have a whole different team for the rest of this regular season until we get into the playoffs, because Jamison Crowder is going to be back in the fold too, because once the regular season's done, he'll be back from the broken ribs injury. He'll be healthy for, you know, what will be the divisional round, since I think we can safely say now we will not be a part of wildcard weekend, since the number one seed is I would say more than just in our hand. It's in our hands right now. It's just whether we can, get through this game as, without injuries. Because as you guys see there, Tariq Cohen getting hurt. That's exactly why we're sitting some of our guys. So it's going to be Philip Lindsay for the rest of this one. I believe Cohen's out for the game as Lindsay gets that. Lindsay doesn't get the ball, and he probably should have. That play action does not work at all. Good for his second game, even against the CPU. It's Malik Harrison as McMillan breaks that pass up. So, yeah, like I kind of mentioned earlier, this is one of the last games we are playing in this franchise, and the thing about this online franchise, whoa, as we pop the ball out, that was McMillan that knocked it out. Thomas Graham on the recovery, but there's a flag on the play, so this all might be for naught, and there might just be a free Buffalo first down. We have holding against... It looked like the referee said the defense, but it's really holding against the offensive line, the Buffalo Bills, so we're going to decline that penalty. It was kind of weird the way the refs worded it there. I got a little bit worried, but all in all, we get the ball. Nice play by McMillan. So, yeah, this Miami Dolphins CFM can end unexpectedly for us because one loss in the playoffs, and that's the last game we play with this team. And, it's kind of dawning on me now that I'm like, man, just the fact that, like, we're not going to get to play with this team really much longer. Like, we're going to be going into Week 17 playing with backups and, like the likes of, like, Caden Stearns and all of these guys that we built up. We don't have much longer with them, and we gotta cherish these last couple of games and cherish the playoff run, and more than anything else, make that playoff run last as long as possible and try to win the Super Bowl with these guys so we can have a couple more good ones. And regardless of what the outcome is, though, like this whole run has been amazing with our Miami Dolphins. It's just like, like I said, it's really just setting in now that we're really close to the finish line. So once this CFM is done, the plan is hopefully for us to be in another CFM for the rest of Madden 20, and then in Madden 21 we'll be back in the Premier Madden League, and most of the guys in this league will be back. And to be honest with you guys, the CFM that we're probably going to join for the rest of Madden 20, at least that's the preeminent plan, that CFM is going to have a lot of guys from the Premier Madden League as well. It's kind of going to be like a B League or a G League or like a minor league or something like that, you may want to call it, as we got Miles Brennan in the game, and Brennan, he's going to get sacked. I mean, we're playing against the CPU, so I'll pass the ball on third down. 12, I really feel like getting a first down. There's no one's feelings to get hurt out here. There's only players to get hurt, like, maybe Philip Lindsay, we landed that big hit with Noah Sewell. So, yeah, it's just like we are really just, who knows how many more games we have with our Miami Dolphins, but we're just going to have fun with this thing, and hopefully, the team that we built up here can get one more Super Bowl under their belt, try to make it to one more Super Bowl. That would be 3 Super Bowls in a row made with our Miami Dolphins, which would be quite the incredible feat, though, the playoffs, they don't come easy, man. The playoffs, it's a whole different game, as we've seen, in every single season. The intensity gets ramped up another notch, and, sometimes our Miami Dolphins are not fully prepared, as Caden Stearns was definitely prepared to lay the lumber on Philip Lindsay, and I believe that's Xavier Howard. Yeah, he just stumbled out of bounds on nothing, or else we might have had our second defensive touchdown with X in one game if that random little stumble didn't happen. Like, the old man in CPU still has the tricks up their sleeve when it looks like we're kind of doing something right, though. Shout out to Caden Stearns. 2 forced fumbles, both of them that we recovered, and an interception in this game. And that's probably going to be the end of Caden Stearns' regular season. And, through 3 regular seasons, Caden Stearns racked up quite the impressive stats. I believe he has over 30 interceptions and 30 forced fumbles in 3 regular seasons. So that's just, literally video game-like numbers. Of course, we're playing Madden. I know someone will be like, oh, video game like numbers, you're playing a video game. Like, of course we are, man. So we got Philip Lindsay here trying to return that ball. Not a great choice. If that was like Madden 12 and Philip Lindsay tried to return the ball like that, that would have been a fumble. Like back in some of the older Maddens, like 12 and 13 and stuff like that, if you try to fair catch it and you got popped right away, it was literally always a fumble. So that was kind of a strategy. So it would be nice if they had that back in, because that's kind of fun. So we're winding down this final game against the Buffalo Bills, the CPU stuff. Not exactly my favorite thing to do, but we had to play this game out and just make sure we get our first round bye. The Washington Redskins game next week was actually setting up to be a really, big game, not like for either team, but just a big game in general, because the Redskins, they're going to be entering that game with a 13-2 record, as are our Miami Dolphins. And if there was something on the line, that would have been quite the game for us. As you guys may remember, the Washington Redskins did beat us in Season 1 of this CFM. I mean, you know, I always got to say, like, what a slight asterisk. Our Miami Dolphins were really bad, but the Redskins played really well in that game as well. So in our revenge tour against the NFC East, I like to call it, because we lost to every single NFC East team in Season 1 this CFM. We got revenge on everybody except the New York Giants. We nearly got it. We nearly came close with Butterfield, but we might have to wait until the Super Bowl maybe to try to truly get our revenge and, you know, hopefully our first win of this CFM against those New York Giants. And what a time it would be if we could do it in the last Super Bowl of this CFM, the last game of this CFM, as Jakeem Grant goes outside. So, you know, unfortunately, you know, with 1 week left, we've only had one death story this season. Now, we have a lot of superstars, so I can't complain, right? But it would have been nice to have a couple of death stories, mainly for Chris Godwin. I feel like Godwin has been balling out so much for us that, you know, even some people in the comment section have been saying, like, how is Chris Godwin not a superstar? I don't know, man. Like, he's doing everything he can to get a dev story. He's 27 years old in here, so, you know, he meets that plateau for trying to get superstar, and he just doesn't get it for whatever reason. He doesn't get that respect from the dev gods, whatever you want to call it, the dev story gods. So that is officially going to do it for today's game. The Buffalo Bills drop to 3-12. Our Miami Dolphins go to 13-2, so we pretty much almost have inverse records out here. So, yeah, as you guys see the stats out here, we played the CPU, so it's not too crazy. Just as long as we beat the CPU, as long as we did not lose to the CPU again, that's all I really needed to clear my conscience. Chris Godwin, what a great game. He also fumbled the ball twice, which, you know, made things interesting in the beginning, but that is that. So, you know, it's definitely been fun building these guys up. You see Jakeem Grant ended up with 10 receptions, a lot of those jet sweeps. I think in Week 17, we're going to let Jakeem Grant play in that game. We're gonna rest Godwin and DeAndre Hopkins, but we're gonna let Jakeem Grant play in that game. I was thinking about merging the Week 16 and Week 17 games in one video, just because, you know, that Week 17 game is going to be all backups, but I think we might try to have some fun with Jakeem Grant in that game. One last run for Jakeem, you know what I mean? So, you know, we'll let that Week 17 game be its own separate video, and we'll see what happens in that one. Because, you know, even if myself and the Redskins guy are probably both going to be running backups in that game, it's still going to be a matchup of two top players in this CFM, and we're going to be on an even playing field because we're both going to have backups, as if, you know, the same way we both have starters. So it should be, sometimes those backup games are some of the fun ones, right? Like, I remember back in the Madden 17 CFM, Trevone Boykin, he was kind of cooking one time when we rested Russell Wilson. We played all the backups. You guys remember, I believe we played the Colts one time, right? And like season 2 or season 3, we had the backups in there, and we had a fun game. We had CeeDee Lamb absolutely popping off. So sometimes those, you know, that last regular season game, you know, it can bring out some pretty cool moments. So hopefully we can have one more of those as you guys check out the season stats heading into the final game. One thing of note, Taysom Hill doesn't show up. I don't know why. Taysom Hill has thrown 3 touchdowns for us, but they just don't show him in the throwing stats, I guess, because he is a tight end. You see DeAndre Hopkins, he's going to end his campaign with nearly 1,600 receiving yards and 25 touchdowns. That's absurd. You see Raekwon McMillan having a great season for our Miami Dolphins, and Malik Harrison and Derek Brown trying to be the leading sack master for our team. Shout out to Jernard Avery. Big step up for when Jabril Cox got hurt, and as you guys see, Xavier Howard having a pretty great season, 6 interceptions, and you guys see all the other stats. Leave a like in the video if you guys enjoyed what you guys saw today. Subscribe for more Madden 20 gameplays, especially if you guys enjoyed the CFM, and I'll catch you guys next time for the regular season finale of Season 5 against the Washington Redskins. And yeah, thank you guys as always for watching.